Well, hey, and let's do some interaction. So first off, let's get our mindset right. Okay, we're getting up in the morning, we did some doom scrolling, now we need to reset to get ready for math. So you can do this, you will do this, and you must do this. So Sir Eric Thomas. So can we do this in 20 seconds? Go ahead and go. Alright, so if you can, great, hold your answers until the time expires. Excuse me, before the time expires. And if you're not sure what the answer is, we're going to put a question mark in the comments. So let's see what you can do. Alright, so let's take a look at what you have. So we have a function, an h function of x. It equals 15 minus 3x, and we need to find the h of negative 1. So if you think you know what the answer is, go ahead and put it inside the chat. So as we go through this series, I know I work a little bit with the function notation. I know I work a little bit with adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions, decimals, and also system of equations, equation line, slope. So this live is especially for people that are equation line, slope. So this live is especially for people that are going to basically get the information and use as a review so you can get yourself ready and feel confident when you take this test. Most of the time, that's most of the problem. A lot of us do not have confidence in math whatsoever. So, as we take a look at this one, we notice that the h of x and the h of negative 1, that the negative 1 is in the same spot as the x. So this is telling me I'm going to do a little substitution. So when I plug in my negative 1 in for the x's of this expression. Okay, Malik, I see you. Thank you so much. So that means we're doing the h of negative 1, and we have our 15 minus 3, and we're replacing the x with the negative 1. Okay? So now, this h of negative 1, we're only using that as a placeholder. So we don't even need this part, because we already know what we've substituted in. But then, we have this multiplication, negative 3 times negative 1. So this 15 is going to come on down. But we have a negative 3 times a negative 1. Where right now, as soon as we go right into the evaluation part, boom, that's not a minus sign anymore. It's a negative to the 3. So two negatives will give me a positive. And then 3 times 1 will give me 3. Alright? So now, 15 plus 3, that will give us our 18. So that means the h of negative 1 is 18. Okay. Alrighty. So now, let's give another try to this one. Okay. Try to simplify that. Let me move in just a hair. Okay. Go ahead and try to simplify that. I know it's the first day of school for a lot of schools today. So everybody's getting themselves ready for their first days of school. It's like a torture for a Thursday, Friday, and then you got the weekend. Alright. You wish you could. Alright, that's okay, Samantha. I got you. Alright, so MT, how are you? I see you. Riley, I see you. Okay, MT, we switched up again. Alright, I see you. Alright. So now, go ahead. Let's see your answers. So I have some people. Yeah, Cynthia. Yep. Alaska starting, Florida starting today. Who else is starting today? California is starting today. Yep. All right, Malik, I see you. Hat Dog, I see you. Okay, hey, Amelia. See you. Mila. Okay, I see you. So, here's the thing, okay? Okay, it's not I see you. All right. So, let's take a gander. And good morning, Danny Boo. What's up, girl? All right. Georgia started last week. Yep, because I got a couple kids tutoring. So, yep, that's what happened. All right. So now we have y to the fourth raised to the second power times, I know, there's an x. We're going to work on that. Y equals. So now we can actually break this up into two segments. Let's tackle this part right here. So we have y to the fourth power raised to the second power. So that means you're taking this y to the fourth, that's the base, and you're multiplying it to itself 2 times, because that's what this square right here is telling you. When you multiply, what do we do with the exponents? We add them. So instead of us doing this extended form, we can simply say we have a product to a product. So 4 times 2. When you see an exponent, a parenthesis, and an exponent, you are multiplying the exponents. But then we have this other y that we needed to bring down. And this other y came from over here. So like we said, when you are multiplying, you're keeping the base, but you're going to add the exponents. So if you don't see an exponent, that's going to be a 1. Okay, it's always assumed that it's a 1. So now we're going to add 8 plus 1, that will give you 9. Okay, so it will be y to the 9th power. Okay, all right, awesome. So just like how I broke it down, we got our y to the 8th times the y gives us y to the 9th. All right, so now let's try to warm ourselves up with some word problems. Okay, so 8 less than 3 times a number. How would I translate that into an algebraic expression? 8 less than 3 times a number. Yes, Malik, it would. Anything raised to 0 power, it would be 1. Hello, hi, how are you? Alright, so I see you, hi, I see you, D, I see you, J, okay, 5, I see you, okay, what's the 4 for? Okay, so we're translating. Alright, Laura, I see you, Josh, I see you, okay, Danny Boo, I see you, Bone, I see you. You hate word problems, but this is the thing. We're going to have to face our fear with the word problems because they're not going away. That's the easiest way for these companies to divide the haves and the have-nots. The ones that's moving forward, the ones that's staying the same. Okay? So we're going to have to get a little uncomfortable to get comfortable. Okay? Samantha, thank you for your honesty. Alright? Kels, I see you. MT, I see you. Laura and Lindsay. Okay. So less than is subtraction. Yes. Hello, Angela. How are you? Now, let's break this down step by step. So we have 8 less than. It doesn't say is less than, which I was supposed to say that. I was supposed to say, hey, no one said it, but someone said it. Okay? If it says is less than, that's the inequality. Just less than will mean subtraction. So what are we subtracting? We're saying 8 less than. So that means the 8 is going to take control of that minus sign and let it act as a negative. So now 8's less than what? 3 times a number. So if you said 3n, you could say 3x, whatever variable you want to use, except for e and I, because those are actual numbers. Okay? So we have our 3x or 3n minus 8. Alright? Hey, Brad, how are you? So now we want to extend on this. So, for those I've seen before, okay, I'm going to break it down to just 3. So 1, 2, 3. Which one would you like to see? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Du Bois, it's not y equals because it's not an equation. It's just an expression. Okay, so I got 2, I got 1, I got 2's. Okay, so far the 2's are in the lead. Okay, all you have to do is just put the number, which one you want to see. 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so it looks like 2's is both. There's 3 of them. There's no both. Both is only for 2 people. Alright, 2 got it, even though some of you guys wrote it out twice. Just cheating early in the morning? Craziness. Alright, so this is the next part. Is at most 124. Ooh. How would I write that? And I'm going to extend it with our other expression here. Is at most 124. How would I write that? Okay. Is at most. How would I translate that? So it's not going to be equals. Think about it. Is at most. Alright, so we got bread, we got van, we got D, we have kinda awkward, okay, got Ashley, we have Centrophone, okay, Mila, okay, wife, I see you, welcome back. Lucky wife, I see you. I think, I don't know what that is. I see you as well, okay? So, is, because they have the word is in front, and it says at most, we're dealing with the inequality, okay? Because is generally means equal, at most. So that means that's the highest you can go. But that means other things is going to be less than. So when you see at most, think of the opposite. So it's going to be our less than. Okay? So as most, I'm not even done yet, because if we got our less than, not greater than, so it's going to be less than, our 124. Now, less than, our 124. Now, okay, that means you can't go past $100. I'm not done yet. Alright, so we know we can't go past $100. But we know we can go up to and including that $100. Okay, so it's not going to be just less than. Alright, so it's going to be less than or equal to. Okay? Alright? At most means less than or equal to. At least means greater than or equal to. It's like thinking the same thing, but you're also including that number. Alright. So now, let's get to solving. So let me slide this over. And then I think it was J is telling me that I need to add the 8 on both sides. Do we agree? Because I do. Okay. So negative 8 and positive 8. Thanks, Kels. So negative 8 and positive 8, that will normally give me a 0. But we're not bringing the 0 as a placeholder because we still have this 3x that we need to bring down. So you have your 3x, you have your less than or equal to. Now you got your 124 plus 8, so that gives you what, 132? Alright, so now we're going to divide both sides by 3. And the reason why we're dividing by 3, because 3 times x, that's multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. Remember what the goal is. We're trying to get x by itself. Alright, so now, how many 3's can go into 13? 4. Because 4 times 3 gives me 12. So 13 minus 12, that gives me a remainder of 1. Bringing down the 2 makes it into a 12. So how many 3's can go into 12? Again, 44. Now, for most of this, you can't write equals. I know we're solving the inequality just like we normally would for an equation, which is fine. But when it gets down here, you definitely have to pay attention. So now, are we going to keep the sign or are we going to change the sign? Put that into a chat. Okay, well, we're not done Genesis, so we can't check yet. So we're going to flip, we're going to keep. So Angela, I see your answer. Jerry, I see your answer. Nisa, I see your answer. How are you? Welcome back. Okay, Jay, I see your answer. Matt Profess, see your answer. D, I see your answer. Jan, I see your answer. Kels, I see you. Panic, I see you. Ale, welcome back, Ale. I see you. Christian, I see you. Ali Baba, I see you. Michael, I see you. Alright, Lucky Wife, you're okay? Okay. PJ, I see you. Alright, now, since we divided by a positive 3, that means our inequality is going to stay in the same direction. That's right, Jerry, because we did not divide by a negative number. So anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number, that's when you change the direction of the sign. Okay? So our answer for this one is going to be x is less than or equal to 44. But let me put as a side note, just a little side note, because some people are like, well, what happens if I get, so if you said 3y, just work with me here, is less than or equal to negative 9, right? And we would divide both sides by 3, because I have to emphasize this. Negative 9 divided by 3 gives us a negative 3. What would I do with the signage for this one? Okay, what would I do with the signage for this one? Okay, it's not greater than or equal to. Give it a try, Alibaba. Because it said at most. At most is not greater than or equal to, it's less than or equal to. Alright, so I'm seeing flip, keep, flip, keep, flip, keep, flip, keep. Okay, here's the thing. What did you divide by? You divided by a positive number. Just because the result turned out to be negative, but you divided by a positive number. So this inequality is not going to change. Okay, this is what a lot of people get wrong on their exams. Just this one little tweak. And you're like, oh, there's a negative. Okay, that means I have to change the direction of the sign. No, okay? When you divide, the actual act of dividing a negative number, that's when you change the direction of the sign. So if I said, I don't know, negative 2, P, I know, ridiculous, is like less than or equal to, let's say, 16. I would divide both sides by negative 2. I will have my P because a negative 2 divided by negative 2 will give me my 1. Okay, 1P and 1 is the same. 16 divided by negative 2 gives me negative 8. I have a negative result. Congratulations for me. I'll get a cookie later. But the part that you need to look at is right here. We divided by a negative 2. There you go, Angela. That's why we have to change the direction of your inequality. Okay? Do we all see it now? Okay, this is where you would flip. Good. This is where we're flipping. Alright, you see? Alright, Miss 7. Good, I see you. Okay, got it, Pisces. Awesome. Alright, so this is what really traps a lot of people. And they will put something like this as one of the answers. So, as long as you know that once, if I have to divide by a number, here's a little trick. If your leading coefficient, if they give you something simple like this is like for a GED, actually a 2-point question. Just put that in there, okay? High school equivalency, this is a 2-point question right here. Alright? So you don't want to lose out on anything. If the leading coefficient is negative, there's a great chance that you're going to be dividing. That means there's a great chance you got to flip that inequality sign. Okay? Alright. Yes. Alright. Now, with that, let's stick, since everyone has. One question before we go on. In the chat, help me out. I'm kind of curious as to what exams are you guys trying to get? Okay, is it your GED? Is it the ASVAB? Is it the TEAS test or HESI test? If you want, you can just put it under T. The Accuplacer. Are you reviewing for some other exam, maybe like the IBEW for electricians, or you're just here for funs and giggles? Or you're just curious, like what's going on? Okay, so I see some HESIs, good. See some fun and giggles. All right, Michael. Yeah, can you screenshot the last problem? Yes, give me one moment and I'll do that for you. Okay, GED, good. GED, just for funds. All right, good. All right, and I know some people are like, I really don't want to put my business out there, Audrey. And I get that. But at the same time, this should be a safe space. If someone is foolish enough to be like, this person's taking the GED and making a post about it, like, really? Get a life. All right? But it just kind of gives me an idea. All right. Do I offer one-to-one? Yes, I do, Paige. Yes, I do. Just click on the link, and there's a link to have like a chit-chat with me. Okay? All right, this is good. Now, for people that are taking your TEAS test, if you need help with dosage calculations, make sure you follow a blessed RN. See, this helps me too, because there may be some other people that have great expertise that I would say, you need to follow this person. Let me see if I can put it in the chat as soon as I... Okay. Alright. This gives me a great idea. So I'm going to pin this. So make sure you follow her for your help with the dosage calculations. The way she breaks it down is simple. Okay. That anybody can do. Yep. And I definitely do one-to-one tutoring. Okay. Alright. So now, before you just go into solving, how do you feel about this problem? Just looking at it, tell me your first initial reaction. You can curse, you can do whatever you want, just don't get too cray-cray. It's almost like a parent that's allowing their child to curse for like a second. I'm like, you got one word. And they'll be like, I can curse, and all of a sudden they just ramble off like 20 words. You're like, yo, how much anger do you have inside you? One word. Just one word. All right. So we got our we got yikes, we got yikes, got you. Okay. Can I zoom in on it? Sure. Because you really need a whole heck of a lot. And once you see this, agitated, got you, hard, you think it is, good. See? Now, here's my thing. When you look at problems like this, and this is really crucial, I know as soon as you see this on the test, you're going to be like, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know where to start. I don't know what exactly I need to look for. And it get yourself all worked up, and then next thing you know, you feel like you can't move on with the rest of the test. So this is where I want to tell you, just take a breath and take a look. Do not read the whole paragraph that they're giving you. The first place you need to go to is what do I need to find. So they tell you, find W of 5. So that means I have a function that's out there. So I just take a quick scan. Oh, here is an equation. If they give you an equation, it's almost like, how should I put it? It's like your favorite food being served by a god. By God. It's just like, oh, like it's right there. Okay? I know it's early in the morning. I'm trying to calculate. I haven't been to sleep yet. So, we have the W of 5. This is similar to the very first problem that we did. If you notice, the H and the 5 is in the same spots. So this is telling me what I want to find what W5 is. W of 5. I'm taking this expression, the 64 minus the 8, and all I'm doing is taking out the H and putting a 5. That's all we're doing. Okay? This is where I would skip. We're not skipping. Nope. Mel, no. Okay? Alright? So, now we're not worried about that W of 5. We're just focusing on this expression. And what do we got? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally from left to right. Okay? So, inside that parenthesis, we don't have anything to combine. We don't have any exponents. We need to do multiplication or division from left to right. Well, we got that with this negative 8 and positive 5. So that means you have your 64 minus what? 40. Right? So now multiplication, division, that's done. All we have is subtraction. So 64 minus 40, that gives me 24. Okay? How often do you do these? Do what? What, the cards or this live? Okay, I usually come on like every day. Unless it's something that I have to go. Oh, the lives? Yep, I'm here every day. And I also do one-to-one tutoring. So, go ahead, check in. Because sometimes it's a combination of things. So now that you know how we broke that down, how are you feeling now? How are you feeling now? Okay? And I'll put the other one up. I forgot. Sorry. Okay? You're feeling happy? Okay? Right? It's easy. Okay? See, my thing is, it's not, every day. I do it once a day. All right, I don't do like multiple times a day like I used to. I just do once a day with that. All right, not a problem, PJ. Not a problem. So you're feeling better. Good, Kels. Okay. All right. So Y24. What do you mean by Y24? Okay. So what does it mean in reference to this? So my thing is, if they're asking like, okay, what does the 5 mean? 5 is the H. What is H? H is the number of hours. Okay, that has passed since 8 a.m. And what are they trying to keep track of? The remaining daily water goal. So their water goal is like 24, I don't know, 24 ounces. There we go. Okay. So basically is the ounces left to drink. So in 5 hours, they got 24 ounces left to drink. Okay. Is it not 20? So 64 minus 40 is not 20, my dear. Can't be happening. Okay. Alright, so we'll take a look. Okay. Alright. So now for the person that asked for the screenshot of the last one, let me pull back a little bit so you can see. Okay, do you see what happened to the 24, Jesslyn? Well, where's the other 4 coming from, Jesslyn? If it's 64 minus 40, 40. So, alright, the person that asked for a picture can't. You got it? Alright, thank you. So, if you have your 64 minus 40, 4 minus 0 gives you 4. 6 minus 4 gives you 2. 24. Okay? Alright? You don't bring down the 4, my dear. Yep, got that. All that. There we are. We see it now? Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, so, couple more. So let's take a look at, see if we can translate. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see if we can translate this one. And step it up a bit. See if we can translate this one. Twice the quantity of 5 more than a number. Ooh. This is going to be delicious. Okay. Your favorite. Of course it's your favorite. That's why we're going to be changing our mindsets. We're going to try. Alright? Because we have to face our fears sometimes. Remember, fear and excitement is on the same spectrum. It's all based on your perception. If you think you are in doom and gloom, guess where you are, my baby? Doom and gloom. Alright? We got this, step by step. Alright? So Al, I see you. D, I see you. Michael, I see you. Okay. Alright, Michael's making a change. So always went. Good. Okay, notice I don't, like right away, correct you. I want to see your thought process. Even when you see other people's answers. I love when some people are, I'm going to stick with my answer. I love when people are like, oh wait, I forgot something. That's learning, people. I'm trying to teach you how to learn instead of just giving answers. Anybody can do that. You got AI for that. Okay? Alright, thank you, Paper Brothers. Alright. Okay, Art by Mimi. Hi, Art by Mimi. Welcome back. Okay, it was twice that. Okay. Alright, Mel, I see you. Okay, duh, I see you. Alright, so let's break this down step by step because there's probably some that are like, yeah, I don't know. And that's perfectly fine. So let's take a look. We have 2 things happening here. We have something happening with the twice, and then we have something happening with the quantity of 5 more than a number. Now, since this more than doesn't have the word is in front, and I'm very proud of you guys not putting the inequalities, because it's not is more than, it's just more than. Now, when something is more, that means you're adding, okay? You're bringing it. You're bringing more to the party. But the quantity of, they're actually saying that this is going to be represented and it's going to be multiplied, because when something happens twice, you're multiplying it by 2. So take a look. We have our 2, and then it mentions the quantity of, sorry, I'm on the cusp here. So the quantity of, this is when I'm putting a parenthesis, because I'm not taking twice of just the 5. I'm not just taking twice of just the number. I'm taking twice of the 5 and the number. And what am I doing with the 5 and the number? I'm doing addition because of the more than. So it's going to be 5 plus, well, other way around I should say, more than the number. The reason why I would switch, because the 5 is supposed to carry the plus sign. So in actuality, we have 2 parenthesis n plus 5. Now here's the best thing. Addition, as well as multiplication, they're both what's called commutative. So whatever you do, if I said 5 plus, I'm just throwing a number out there. If I said 5 plus 4 and 4 plus 5, they both give me the same result, which would be 9. Okay, if I said 5 times 2 or 2 times 5, I would get the same result, which would be 10. Okay, so that is what's called the commutative property. And a lot of people get commutative and associative mixed up, including myself. But if I think of it, I'm going on a commute from my home to work and work to home. If I don't make any stops, it's basically the same distance. So when you're on a commute, it's going to be the same as you switch them around. All right? So I'm going to stick with this base one because I want to keep with the same trend. So it's 5 more than a number. So now let's do an extension. Let's see where we're going to get, because I have no idea. All right. So 1, 2, or 3. Put in the chat. Okay. So L, we got 1. Mel, we got 3. Andrew got 1. We got 1 for D. Okay, got 3 from Miss Stevens. 3. Oh, we got 2. Got 2. Got 3. So we got a tie with 3 and 1. All right. 3. Pick 3, my lord. All right, we got 3. Oh, it might happen, Michael. Look at you. I need one more person. One more person. Solidify it. Just pick a number. 1, 2, or 3. Really, Lancy? Okay. Good morning, Miss Lewis. Alright, we got your 3. Let's see. Let's see what 3 brought into the table. Y'all want to see this one. Yeah, it is. It's not that bad. Okay, is identical to double the number. How would I write that? Is identical to double the number. What do we have? Okay, is identical to double the number. How would I write that? Okay, so PJ, I see you. Yes, so go with that, Mel. Keep going. Okay, Panic, I see you. Mila, I see you. Okay, user 53, I see you. Ale, I see you. Okay, and if you're not sure, put a question mark in the comments. Okay, remember, that's always an option. Well, if this is your first time being here, obviously you won't know that's an option. But that is an option. So if you're not sure, put a question mark. Okay, Art by Mimi, Miss Stevens, I see you. Angela, I see you. Mel, I see you. Okay, Natum, hello Natum, welcome back. Okay, Ver, I see you. Paige, I see you. Okay, Super, I see something. Alright, so is identical to. So if you have identical, okay, that's going to be equals. So what is it going to be equals? Double the number. So whatever I used for represent my missing number, I'm going to double it. And when you double it, that means you're multiplying by 2. Okay, there you go, D. Alright. Hey, Shortcake, welcome back. I see you. Alright, so now, we're going to ignore this one because I'm going to focus on the one down here. So we are going to solve. We can do this one of two ways. I know. You know me, I always like to have options. What would you like to do first? Okay, I'm going to go for the first person that puts it up. I know, that's so rude of me. What am I going to do first? Okay, I say multiply, distribute. Everyone's thinking the same way. Michael, you're thinking how I'm thinking too. Okay, so let's do the distributive property first. So when we distribute the 2, we're going to distribute the 2 to everything inside of the parenthesis. Okay, hold on. Zoom in a little bit. So now we have 2 times n, which gives me 2n. And then 2 times 5, which gives me 10. So now this equals 2n comes down. Okay? So now we want to solve for n. And I got n's on both sides of the equal sign. Okay? Not yet with the division, but we do need to do something next. Okay? We're not doing division because something's in the way. The 10 is in the way. So we need to isolate. We need to bring our n's either to the right-hand side or to the left-hand side. Me personally, to be honest with you, I want to bring this 2n over to the right-hand side with this 2n. Yes, we want to get that n by itself. And yes, Art by Mimi, we're going to subtract. There we go. So we have our minus our 2n. So over on the left-hand side, we have a 0. But we don't need this placeholder because we still have that 10 to come down. So we have a 10 over here. But what's happening over here? Ooh, what happened over here though? It's going to equal a 0 because since we don't have anything else, we need to even things out. Okay? It's almost like you're lifting weights. Don't just lift weights from the waist up and then have two little sticks for legs. Even out. Put a leg day in there once in a while, you know? Give it a little strength. A little proportional. So now we have 10 equals 0. Is that a true statement? Yes, D. Yes. Okay? Right. It's not a true statement. Because 10 can't equal 0. Can't equal nothing. Alright? And this is the main thing. So it's not going to be like, oh, the answer is 5. Nope. Be careful with it. Always check your signage. So that means if I had to subtract 2 on both sides, my n's are also canceling out. Not just the 2's, as well as the n's. Okay? To give us our 0. Alright? Okay? It's okay. It happens, right? We didn't know what was going to happen, but now it happens, okay? So taking it step by step. All right, our last problem, which I'm going to see, because we did a couple of word problems today. Going to go back to ye olde linear inequalities. True statement, right, rather than actually just solving it. Yeah. Yep. Now, oh yeah, I should have showed you the other way. Let me show you the other way. Forgot about it. Tells you where my brain is. Not here. Yeah. Before we get to this one. Oh, rudeness. Okay, before we get to this one. Yeah, I don't handle with solve it. That's not my thing. I don't handle rude people. Now, this was the previous question. I forgot to show you the second way. Another way, since we only have multiplication, well, we have multiplication here on the left-hand side, and then we have our 2n on the right. We could divide both sides by 2. That's another option. So 2 divided by 2 will give me 1. Anything times 1 is itself, so that means I can bring down my n plus 5. And then 2n divided by 2, that gives me 1n, or just n. Okay? And then again, we're going to get the same result by subtracting n on both sides. So you have this time 5 equals 0. And 5 cannot equal 0. Okay? So you still get the same result. Okay? Alright. Fabulous. Now, back to this one. So sorry. Alright, so we need to identify the x and the y-intercepts. Now, we could, some people are right into it like, oh, slope-intercept form says y equals mx plus b. True, that is the equation in line. But they just want us to identify the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. We do not need to solve a blessed thing. Ready? Because x-intercepts, that's when your y value is equal to 0. The y-intercepts, that's when your x value is equal to 0. So let me show you. If I want to find the x-intercepts, so I'm going to use my 2x plus 5, and I'm going to replace the y with a 0. Okay? For me to find the x-intercepts, the y value is equal to 0. So now take a look. Anything times 0 is what? First two people tell me. Anything times 0 is what? Is 0. Thank you. So that means we don't need this 0 as a placeholder because I still have the 2x. So why not just make it 2x is equal to negative 12. Okay, so since they want us to find out what the x-intercepts are, we're going to be plugging in 0 for y and solving for x. So then from here, we're going to divide both sides by 2. And our x is going to equal, I'm going to put over here, it's going to equal a negative 6. So your x-intercept, I'm going to write it as an ordered pair, is -6, 0. That's your x-intercept. Okay? Yeah. So we're not solving for the equation of the line. We're trying to, what? Identify the x and the y-intercepts. So to find the x-intercept, if I may draw it out right here, the x-intercept always goes left to right. The y-axis, goes up and down. So the x-intercept is where it intersects the x-axis. So that means if I have this point here, this is 0, my y is 0, my x is whatever that value is. Let's say it's 3. Okay? For the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Let's say that's a +3. So my x, I didn't go left or right, so that's going to be 0. And my y is going to be, let's say, +3. So we're not solving. See how everybody just directly went right to it? Okay? So now if I want to find the y-intercept, I'm going to make my x values equal 0. Can't really see the color right there. Okay? So for me to find my y-intercept, there we go, I'm going to make my x values equal to 0. Anything times 0 is going to give me a 0. I don't need to put that 0 as a placeholder because I have my 5y. The key part of this is I'm trying to solve for y. So now I have my 5y is equal to -12. Divide both sides by 5. And I have my y equals a -12/5. The reason why I'm keeping it as a fraction is that's when you're going to have to look at your answer key. So if you're doing the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, and here's my thing, every state does it differently. I had to do some more research because now some states are allowing you to use a calculator for the Accuplacer. Maryland, nope. Right? The GED, they'll give you a calculator on the system. I'm only talking about Maryland. ASVAB, you can't use a calculator at all. So every test is different and every state is different. Okay? So that's why it's like, all right, if they leave it as an improper fraction, great. If they have you doing the division, awesome. Okay? But your y-intercept, that's when your x value is equal to 0. And I'm going to have my y-intercept. And your intercepts are always listed as an ordered pair. Okay? Yep, and you can say -2.4 as well. Okay? Alright? You see what happened there? Okay, we didn't have to put it into y equals mx plus b. Okay, if they just wanted to know the intercepts, you're going to make your x's 0 if you're looking for the y-intercept, and you're making your y 0 when you're looking for the x-intercepts. Okay. Alrighty? Alrighty, tidies. So, as I mentioned, yes, I do tutoring. Yes, I'm on here every day. Now I'm pushing it to 8 o'clock because sometimes I have early morning tutoring sessions. But we are able to I would follow me because sometimes I might get a student at 9 o'clock in the morning my time, so I might have to like push it back to like 7:45. I know life is cray cray. I'm trying to make life linear, and life isn't that way. But if you do need additional assistance, if you need more practice with word problems, if you need more practice with, what do we do? Order of operations, breaking down all kinds of concepts. If you follow me, okay, take a look at my profile. Okay, on my profile, there is a link right here. It says Stand Store. If you just click onto that link, it will take you directly to my Stand Store. All right. And then you will get to a free math checkup. Let me see. Oh, that's going to blind you. So if I go to like a free math checkup, then for those that were asking about tutoring, we can have like a tutoring interest call. This is how you sign up to get like a tutoring interest call. And if you want any of my books to help break down concepts that consist of videos of me breaking down each and every one of these concepts, you can get individual books, but then there's also at the end where you can get my different bundles. If you want some of the bundles, I just changed up some of the approaches right here. So if you wanted to get one of our starter kits or any of the foundational ones, go right ahead. Okay, if you like some of the cards that I did, I also have a couple of those. Now, these are my practice books here for the GED, ASVAB, Accuplacer, also TEAS test. You can take advantage of this as well. And for the ASVAB, my GED people, if you want more word problems, you can take it from here as well. But then I also have ones that comes with a video solution. So, have fun perusing through this. I'm going to scroll really fast past this. But if anything, if you want to see recordings of my lives, just go all the way to the end. I had to get rid of Indeed or LinkedIn last night because people are trying to treat it as a dating place. Like, guys, I'm not hot. Like, I have no idea what's going on. So, if you want to, I know it's a little blurry. I didn't want to blind you earlier, like I am now. So if you want to, you can take a look at all of my video lives. You can register in there, and I go through all the breakdown stuff, just like I would in here. Okay? So let me stop blinding you for a second. And then again. Alright, so if you have any questions, okay, let me take a look at some people might have popped up with some questions here. Let me go through. Alright, we saw the weight was to identify. Alright, so I got you D, I see this. Accuplacer, but only with certain questions. I hate so much. Okay. That's different because is slope intercept form. Okay. Yes, you meant the calculator. Yes, I got you. How would you add that equation to the wait, what? Miss Stevens, what are we talking about? How would you add how would you add that equation to the Alright, I'm trying to get it. I don't get it. I'm going to get that. Yes, but make sure it's a negative, Miss 7. I keep calling you Steven. Sorry. But make sure the negative is there. Okay. Alright. Hey, Jane. Alright. Scroll paper for screenshots. Can I get a please? Now, I would love for you guys, when you guys get these screenshots and you get all of these things, what are you guys doing with all this information? Like, now you got this information, what are you going to do with it? Thank you. That's all I ask. Okay, let me go for this one first, and then I'll scroll up. All right. So when you use all this information, okay, let me scroll up for the y-intercept. So you're going to practice, okay? Good. Practice how? Because I'm telling you, if you're going to practice, that means we should be practicing right now. So you can solidify this information. Because once you see a video of someone getting kicked in the nuts or a cute little cat video, all of a sudden all this information just goes right out of your head. Because how many times have you guys sit down, you're like, oh, I learned this thing for this lady, and then like hours later you try to do it yourself and you're like, I can't do it by myself. Like, how did she do that? And then you forget everything. Right? So look and review and practice. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Hey, Jacinda, how are you? So here's the thing. You don't want to just memorize, because the test questions are not going to be exactly like this. Okay? You're not going to, and that's what a lot of people are doing. You watch the videos, then you try to memorize, or if you do get a book, you try to just do the questions and memorize the answer key, and then you wonder why you can't pass the test. Because the memorizing of the answers is not helping you. Okay, I'm not just talking about my stuff, I'm talking about stuff in general. Okay, pretty good. Alright, I think the best way is to learn by getting a pencil, and solve it as you do. Exactly. But then you're going to need to get new problems. You're going to need to have some kind of new assessment. Because if you just sit and you're like, oh, let me memorize this one. Oh, let me memorize this one. Oh, let me memorize this one. Okay, how about this one? Okay? And then you're just like, all right, you got these down. So what happens if all of a sudden they had like, I don't know, an equation. I'm just going to use the back of this. So what happens if they say, okay, tell me what the y-intercept, what's the y-intercept of this? Some people can do that. Writing down the rules too. There you go, D. And this is the one thing I also notice with our students today. There we go. Good. Good. Now, the reason why I say this, because a lot of our students, and D, you said it perfectly fine, write down the rules. Our kids don't take notes. Have you noticed that? Like, if you have younger kids, younger siblings, and school's about to start, like, give it about a month, right? And then ask, can I see your notebook? They're either going to say, our teacher doesn't let us take our notes home, which I see where it is, especially in the inner cities, because they use it, a lot of gang members use it as being a mark. Oh, you're a kid that's going to school, so we're going to rob you. So they tried to limit that by not having the kids carry books home. So then, another way is a lot of kids, if they do take notes, they don't understand what they wrote down because they just scribbled whatever they could scribble in there. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no organization. Or they just get packets from their teachers and say, okay, memorize this. Okay, so there's a whole lot of things. Right, and there's a lot of people that are like, I don't take notes, and then you're also like, all right, how are you with the test? I didn't pass. Okay. And then plus feedback, but we'll talk about feedback later. Okay. Take the class, get extra help. Okay. And then take it regardless of what is being taken. Yes, good. Okay. Oh yes, I have to make my daughter. I reteach her all her lessons and preach organization. Yes, D. There we go. All right. So to get back with this, because they switched it around, the philosophy is still the same. Your y-intercept is always going to be the constant that does not have that variable next to it, regardless if they put it in the traditional slope-intercept form, or if they try to, which is this one, or they try to flip it around. Okay? So I just like to show so many different ways. And I'm not saying like, oh, you got to buy all my stuff and you should only be listening to me. Heck no. There's so many other people. Maybe my style of teaching is not best for you. And as you get older, at least you have that as an advantage. When you're a classroom student, you get the teacher that you get. And this is probably why some of us have the problems. Here we go with the tree. This is why some of us have the problems right here. So our knowledge, especially for math, is just like a tree. Okay? So with the tree, you have your basic math concepts. You got your adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, your fractions, your decimals, and your percents. So a lot of us, somewhere along the line, either we missed out on multiplication because that's biting you in the butt right now. That's why you are not that strong with fractions, with decimals, with percents, because your multiplication is not that strong. We're trying to do multiplication using a calculator. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have a strong tree, because your roots, you're still going to have a tree, but it's just not going to be as strong. Like if anything like that tornado that we had in Maryland, you would have been blown away. But here's my thing, we got to get our foundation down pat, because then when it's time for you to take algebra, you'll be able to adjust, you'll be able to advance, especially multiplication. And then once you get algebra down, now we can take more advanced math. And what's happening is a lot of you guys are being tested in areas that's up here, and this isn't strong, neither is this. Okay? So when we take a look at all these things, okay, I know, but then here we are. You're taking a test that you can or cannot use a calculator for, because they're thinking you should know this. And I hear teachers, every kid that I get for tutoring, every teacher will say to them, oh, you should know this by now. Well, we had something called a pandemic, or they might have had a teacher, or they might have had like 15 teachers. One of my students had 15 teachers in 1 year. In 1 school year. 15 different math teachers. Not subs, math teachers. What? How are they learning? And then when they get into algebra, they struggle and they feel stupid and they feel like, I can't do this. But then you get somebody, you see alive, whatever it is, they connect to it, and guess what? You can still strengthen your roots. So you can understand the algebra, and yes, you will be able to do some advanced math. You know how I know? Because I'm proof of it. I wasn't always a good math student. I didn't come out with the brain of, huge intelligence. I was weak in math. When I saw fractions, I was like, nope. Word problems? Hell no. But I had to figure out what was the patterns. And once I figured it out and I knew that it kept being consistent, that's how I teach. And I break things down. So if you're saying to yourself, oh, I hate math, I will never do well in math, well then I'm going to have to gratefully say, shut it. Because you can get it done. You just have to get out of your way, get the assistance that you need so you can grow. All right? So you can grow and you can advance. Because guess what, my babies? You did not choose that school. You probably went to that school because it was the neighborhood school. You didn't choose your environment. But guess what? We can always uproot a tree and place it in a place where you're going to get nutrients, where you're going to get support, you're going to get sun, so you can grow a bigger trunk. All right? Enough of that. So, if you need me, and I think someone asked for the XY, I gotta find it. Okay. Let me turn that off. Alright, quick shot. Alright, so I am going to skedaddle, but if you guys need any assistance, you need more practice skills, I'd rather you ask me a question, say, hey Audrey, I'm about to do the GED. and I feel like I need more practice, or I feel like I would love to get more instruction, or what do you like tutoring? Again, you can either message me or you can go to the link in my profile and go to where it says tutoring inquiry calls and sign up for a call. Okay, so we can sit down, we can chit chat, and we can get everything together. No problem, Mimi. All right, everyone. So have an amazing day, and I will catch you on the flip side, which will be tomorrow morning. Cannot believe it's going to be Friday. Tomorrow will also be 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everyone. Have an amazing day. I'll talk with you soon. No problem. Bye now.